Hello, welcome back. Hi, my glad people from wherever you're watching from. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Today we are here for another Glad Talks, another episode of we discuss about these topics in life that helps us navigate it basically essentially, not like the ultimate guide to life because no one has that. We all live through our experiences and by learning trying to understand from our past, from our mistake, from our present, and heading towards our future. So, today's topic will be about accountability. When I just think about it, I feel so excited. I feel excited because I have seen firsthand what it can do. So, as I was saying, I have seen firsthand what it can do depending on how, if it is acknowledged, if it's not acknowledged, or let me say it's non-existent, right? Right, outright non-existent. Guys, let me get a sip. Today the weather is really like it's playing peekaboo. And it's normal, this was predicted on the weather forecast, but in the morning it was nice and good, simple. Then it's windy, then it's chilly, it's just all over the place. So always, this is out of topic. When I get back home from my activity after doing what I had for the day, it's advisable to take a hot shower if you can, or drink warm beverages like teas, infusions, anything simple. So, oh, if you're interested, the cup or the mug, sorry, I rather say the mug is from Pepco. It's a PEPCO. You can get it online or you can buy it from your local vendor. So, coming back to our talk, as I was saying, accountability is one of those topics where when you hear about it, I mean, especially for myself, I get really excited because it's really a vast and wide. You have a lot of areas that you can touch that you can really, use to improve the quality of relationships with yourself, with others, and with your family, even. So let's go logically, right? Let's not put our self experience in this. First and foremost, let's understand what it is. Like what I usually did in my science class back then is I give a definition, and from that definition, what they say in mathematics, you create like a hypothesis, then you prove the thesis using the thesis, sorry. So in this case, we're not proving anything because, as I said, this is real lifetime. This is different individual living life in their terms and taking whatever life presents to them in their own way with the best of their abilities. So for me, there's no like something to prove. It's more about opening a discussion about these topics so that it can spark the need to improve the quality of our lives, of our relationships. So, accountability, this is from the internet. The saying, it is the fact, it's a noun, of course, the fact or condition of being accountable. Then colon, semicolon, responsibility. So, they gave an example. Lack of accountability has corroded public respect for businesses and political leaders. This is just a random example. So, there's also, in all the definition, they always give these words that are kind of similar or associated to the word that you've looked for. In this case, they say accountability is similar to responsibility or more mortality. Responsibility seems more like it. Now, when they say accountability, what does it mean properly to take accountability, right? It describes, as we earlier said, accepting a responsibility. It can be a personal or very public one. So it can be either private or public. So, and it's very tough. It has its good side as its bad. Not really bad, but it has its good side of you taking accountability and sides where it's very tough to even acknowledge. As I said, you either acknowledge it, you don't acknowledge it, or it doesn't even exist. It's not even like something that's in your mind, in your brain cell, in your system, or whatever. So, in the case of you make a mistake, how do you take accountability? That's the first thing. Exactly. Now, moving on after defining it, let's see in the terms of relationships. And when I mean relationships, I mean in general, not only the romantically coded ones, but even relationships between family members or people that are friends, right? How do you take accountability, right? What are the things with respect to relationship that can be, very, 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 very interesting. We'll go with a basic list, not really a basic one, but as I prepared for today's talk, this was a list that really piqued my curiosity, if I can say like that. We'll see the signs of lack of accountability in relationships. So, the lack of accountability in relationships is usually a foundational. It's not me who wrote it. It's written in this research, the made scientifically in the Department of Relationship, that's self-development and together development. They say it's a foundational principle of romantic relationships, bonds between family members and loved ones, and friendships. When people are not accountable, they may refuse to acknowledge how their actions affect their partners, insisting their partner is the only one to blame for relationship problem. Now, let's break this down. As I said, this is a very vast and wide topic, but we could probably make a series out of this specific topic, but I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section. This part where they say when the other does not acknowledge or take accountability, how it will affect the others. Bring it back as I love doing most of the time, be it when we have the Glad Talk Spray series or this live series. Bring it back to daily life. There are some people, individuals, let's call them individuals, that would never, that's why I said there are three categories of accountability, would never ever agree or acknowledge their own part because they are never ever wrong, they are always right. And this is not a bad thing because if you are right in a sense that you are a logical, responsible person, you are reliable, that's a different thing. That's an outright different thing. I'm talking about these people, this set of people, and I've met in my little time on earth so far, and I've met this type of individuals that blame everything and anything that happens to them in their life, in their whatever, just in their world to others. It's either someone's fault, it's either the institution's fault, it's either, I don't know, even sometimes even their parents' fault. Literally, it's even their parents' fault. And they never really do wrong. In their, I don't know, their thought process is made in such a way whatever they do is correct, and if the outcome does not satisfy their primary intention while posing that action or going forward to take a step towards any direction they choose on their own, something goes wrong, they blame it on someone. They don't take accountability. I give you a very I don't know, it may seem like a movie, but this is real life happenings. And I'm not saying to expose anyone or anything. This is just an example to give you guys a really real life idea of what I mean by they don't even care what exists. They just have to blame someone. It's never the fault. Someone that says, okay, I need you guys to help me find work, for example, I need work. You help the person, right? You give them the means to get the work. It could be by sending them a link of an application. It could be by if they are working in the same field or you, let's say, studied the same field, you give them the tips and the tricks and the nooks and the cracks to arrive to the career path they have discussed or they are willing to arrive to. But even at that, if, as we've seen in the past Glad Talk series, if you don't put your effort, your hard work, your intention, that's why I always say in all our talks, I've always told you guys, be intentional about your life. And that's really amazing because I had the opportunity, and I think it's a blessing, to meet people that are really intentional about their life, even in the little stuff. Give you an example last time we talked about this. Waking up and making your bed. I don't care if you wake up at 5, at 6, at 7, except if there's something that really impeaches you to. You know, it could be an emergency, it could be something else. It can happen. We are not perfect. We are human beings. That's why we are doing all these little mechanisms to reach a level of, improved, better human beings for a good world and a good community. So, if you wake up, you make your bed. It seems very simple, but it's so intentional because you are putting order in your mind. If you're someone that like planning, for example, in my case, I'm very not I wouldn't say very organized, but I'm quite organized as a person. And I know at the end of the week, I need to make the plan of how my next week will look like and I don't do it, then probably I was either sick or I was in vacation. It can happen. You're in vacation. You don't have to plan everything. But if I can and I'm intentional and I know that this is what I need to do to either reduce the workload or permit me to navigate whatever I'm navigating in a better way. And I have someone or I have people that really support me to be more, not only intentional, but to be more prepared for the opportunity at hand. And I still don't do, or I take my time because I believe, okay, now that people are helping me or they are supporting me, I just have to sit down and do nothing. And when I have issues, I complain. I blame it on no, people don't understand me, people don't want to try to be in my shoes. But ask yourself, have you been accountable? Are you being really accountable of what is your own part in the process of whatever intention you have for your life? So, guys, my dear glad people, I want us to leave it at this. Really take your time and really think about this. Are we accountable in our daily lives? I'm not saying only when you are wrong, but are we really accountable? Do we really retrospect on our actions? Not because we need to overthink or something like that. No. Retrospect, as I said, use your past to, in the present, with these mechanisms, build a better future. So, my dearest glad people, see you next Friday for another episode. Probably we'll continue talking about this accountability in other fields and other aspects. And thank you again for sticking with us and listening. Bye bye.